All right, hi guys. I'm going to show you how to make this coil pot. I've already rolled a bunch of coils because that takes the longest. What you want to do is break your piece of clay into a bunch of different pieces and start rolling coils. You roll them like this with your hands. You can squish it out and roll it. The thing you want to make sure of is that your surface is either a wood surface like this that's unfinished so your clay doesn't stick to it. If you have a surface that's finished, like a wood surface that's finished or a countertop, you'll probably want to tape on a piece of newspaper. That way the newspaper doesn't move around or stick to your clay when you lift it up. You're going to need a spoon for this and then a little bit of water. The most important thing about this project though is you want to make sure your coils are all the same thickness. It doesn't matter how long they are, it just matters that they're all the same thickness. Now these coils are quite a bit thicker than these coils here. So I'm gonna get, probably a different size bowl, but I can make it whatever shape I want to with the coils. So I'm pushing down and rolling back and forth until I can get this as thin as these ones. I'm starting in the middle and kind of like rolling out. And I've got some like cracking here so we can pinch it back together. I'm going to roll it out until it looks about the same. So I think just a smidge more. That's about right. All right, so I'm going to take my smallest one and I'm going to start. What you're going to do is you're going to curl the bottom. We're going to make the base of the pot. And it doesn't have to be like super perfect, but then I'm going to squish it out and make it rounder, flatter. And that's, depending on what size coil you picked, that's gonna be the size of your base. So my base is pretty small. I can go out like this though. I can build it out like this, or I can go straight up. You can add another coil to this and make your base bigger, but I'd rather keep my coils for the sides. So when I add on a coil, I have a toothpick here. I'm gonna scratch that a little bit, add some water to it. Then we'll take this one. I'm going to pinch this off so it's a nice edge. Scratch this a little bit. Tap water on it, and then I can push these together. And then I want to build around this and start going higher. So I'm starting to layer on top of this base here, bending this as I go, higher and higher, and I can go out. I can go out farther so that it opens up like this. I'm going to try to do that. So you're kind of offsetting it, so it's going to start going out like this. So I've run out of coil here. I'm going to scratch up this edge. And I'm going to take my next one, pinch this together, and scratch up this edge. Put some water on both sides, and then I'm just going to like push these together and then smooth that out so that that doesn't crack later and like show where my one coil ended and the other one began. All right, so I'm gonna keep working, getting this pot to go out like this at an angle instead of straight up like this one. And I'm just gonna keep going until I run out of clay. So I just smoothed out that, since it was a bigger crack, I smoothed it out with the flat side of my nail, the back side of my nail there. come to the end. So I'm going to scratch this up and grab another piece and scratch it up. And what this is doing is it's making like little grooves so that when I push them together, they'll hopefully grab onto each other and bond a little bit better. So we're pushing those together, and then we're smoothing out this seam. And we're still going. Basically until we run out of clay. Now this isn't really stuck very good together, each of these layers, but I'm going to show you how to do that at the end with the spoon. I'm at the end, so I'm going to scratch this together. And this is a good project for like if you're doing the macrame plant hanger. Because this clay is nice and porous, so it'll hold water really well. Because this is just air dry clay, so it's not going to be shiny or anything. Smooth these together. Hi, Giz. You can see my cat just jumped in my lap. Get down, silly. Alright, I got one more coil to go. I'm going to scratch this on. Scratch this edge here. Close this up and then scratch the edge. Get both sides wet. And then push those together. And what about the seam? You can use the back of your fingernail, or your finger, or the top of your finger. So this is like not going out really far, it's just gradually getting bigger. It's kind of like almost exactly like a pot shape actually, like a terracotta pot kind of. All right, so we've gotten to the end here. You can, so I just like ended it here, like smoothed it down. It doesn't really matter. That's probably what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna lift this up and like kind of flatten it down a little bit. And then I'm gonna figure out where the end is at. And I'm gonna scratch where that goes, where it ends, and underneath it, so that at least the end sticks down really good. And doesn't come popping off. The point of a coil pot is so that you can see the coils, right? So you don't really care if it ends like that normally, because it's like a natural look. Okay, we definitely want to keep the coils on the outside looking coilish, but we got to smooth out the inside so that these don't lift off from each other. See how right now they're lifting off from each other? So what you're going to do with your spoon is you're going to hold your piece and use the top edge of it to push the seams together. So this is going to take a little bit of work. And then once you've got it all the seams done, then you can run your finger in there, your wet finger in there, and smooth it all out. And this is going to stick this together. I'm not going to make you guys watch me do this whole thing. But this is definitely an important part. You can see already that that's going to hold nice. And because our coils are nice and thick, our wall stays nice and thick, even pushing the seams out like this. This is a little bit of work. It might be tedious, too tedious for like a little kid. They could always make the coil pot and then you could smooth the inside for them. And use the back of it to smooth it. But basically that's what you want to do the whole inside, even the bottom. Okay? And then you can, like on this one I've got little dots to kind of give it a design. I just used the back of my toothpick there and decided what I was going to do. And that's about it. You'll let it dry for about 2 days, and then you can either paint it. If you're going to use it for a pot, I would, like an actual plant holder, I would just paint the outside and not paint the inside. If you're putting this in a macrame plant hanger that you're dip dyeing, I like to leave this natural colored because the macrame is the color already. And sometimes when you have too many colors going on, it's kind of crazy, but it's up to you. It'd be cool if this was like yellow and your plant hanger was like blue or something, or orange. It's up to you. All right, so that is our coil pot. We're just smoothing out the sides until the inside until it's all smooth and the outside stays coiled. All right, guys, thank you.